Dig deep, Casey. Be a man.
Seriously.
Something like that.
It's true, though.
But
How was your night's rest?
Amazing.
They're going to say, did you see Julie McQueen? She was hammered. When she gets drunk, she looks like a dude.
Like, it looks like it's
Come on, Aaron. You can figure it out.
I'll come across Brent and smack the shit out of you after I stretch.
We are very blessed today to have our special guest, Miss Julie McQueen. Say hi, Julie.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
That's probably better.
Yeah, it's better.
Did you say it was Viagra that gave you a heart attack?
It gave me a first heart attack when I was 21.
All right.
Whatever. Anyway.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
I am very system. And it was the Cialis that got me at 28.
Yeah.
Nobody says Louisville, man.
That's right. Thank you, Sean.
you know, and I'm looking right here. I see a bunch of positive people.
It looks like the Mountain Ops booth is the place to be.
Yeah, seriously.
You know?
One of us is going to die. And
His D-loop's like a, it's like a shiitake mushroom. Things like
This old highway's getting longer. I was self-taught, yeah.
Hey, you're one of those people that piss me off.
Only Bowman cast.
I know. Seriously.
Bowman podcast.
It's like when there's carbon in the air, there's hope.
You're like really close to my comfort zone here, though. I'll take that as a compliment.
Often.
Hey, everybody. Daniel Lee Martin here with Julie McQueen and the Gritty Bowman and his baby brother.
This is Cameron Haynes, and you're watching the Gritty Bowman.
Hi, I'm Brandon Bates. He's Easton Corbett. You're listening to the Gritty Bowman Show.
What he said.
This is Wishes for Warriors, and you're watching the Gritty Bowman Show.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, I'm Eva Shockey, and you are listening to The Gritty Bowman.
Hello, alright, you're listening to the Gritty Bowman, home of gritty bow hunting films, interviews, tall tales, and a wee bit of manly boasting.
I'm South Cox, and you're listening to The Gritty Bowman.
This is Wishes for Warriors. Are we all saying it?
Are
we all saying it?
Okay.
Go, Corey. Go, Corey.
no,
you're
got it.
center.
No,
you're
got it,
center.
you got it.
Okay. This is Wishes for Warriors, and you're watching the Gritty Bowman Show.
This is Wishes for Warriors, and you're watching the Gritty Bowman Show.
Oh, yeah.
On this episode of Gritty Bowman, we visit with a giant man, Bryan Marshall, founder of Wishes for Warriors. And I'm not kidding. His head is huge. He's built like a tank. He walks sideways through doors. Or maybe he just kicks them in. We also met with his two amigos and wounded warriors, Corey Garman and Cameron Stewart. We learn about his foundation, Wishes for Warriors, and how they're making a difference in the lives of wounded veterans. These guys are solid. I've been known to complain on occasion about leg cramps, blisters, and chafing, and I feel like it's justified until I meet someone like Corey Garman. The dude is a triple amputee, and he's out hiking the hills and killing big bulls. These guys straight up inspire. To learn more about Wishes for Warriors and how you can be a part of it, check out our show notes on the Gritty Bowman website.
If you like this show, please go to our website at grittybowman.com and subscribe to this podcast and tell your mates and pals about us. Do us a favour and please take a moment to leave us a rating or a review on iTunes or on our YouTube channel. Send your questions and podcast ideas to grittybowman@gmail.com. If you're listening to this on iTunes, you can see the video version of this podcast on our website at www.grittybowman.com.
All right, folks, you're listening to the Gritty Bowman. We are here at the ATA show in the Mountain Ops booth. I've got some great guests. I'm here with Bryan Marshall.
Yes, sir.
Good first name, which I somehow screwed up. We got the same first name.
I've been called
I had
way
it
worse.
down, dude. I had it down.
You even wrote it down.
I've just talked to a million people. But
I've been called worse, so you're good.
you guys are genuinely I'm just excited to talk to you guys. I heard you on the Natural Born Hunter podcast.
Yes.
Love that. Now, you guys are with Wishes for Warriors. And for folks who don't know much about that, can you tell us about that and introduce me to these fine gentlemen here?
So here we got Corey Garman and we got Cameron, two of our vets that we've helped out over the last 2 years. And so Wishes for Warriors, what we are is we're 100% nonprofit, and we're focusing on getting our men and women back into the outdoors through any therapeutic retreat. You know, we do building custom mountain bikes to hunting bull elks in Utah. So we went from bear hunting in Maine to dove hunting in Argentina this year. So whatever these guys come to us with a passion, be if they had it before they were wounded or injured, or if they want to pick up a passion since being hit, and they come to us and, hey, this is what I would like to do, or I want to try it. We'll see if we can do it, and we do our best. And we try to make it happen.
Wow.
So we got Corey here. Corey, he was one of our very first vets that we helped out once we launched Wishes. Hit him up. We're like, hey, man, you know, we want to do a little range day. He wanted to just come down shooting with us. Little did he know that we are actually working with a rifle company down in Florida. I flew in a few days ahead of time. We built this rifle from scratch. I'm talking absolutely nothing. We're piecing it together, literally building it as he's pulling in the parking lot. We're trying to distract him, give him a tour of the building.
When was this now?
This is down in Freeport, Florida.
When?
Almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was May. May of 2000.
So
13,
he's running around the building, and we're putting the trigger system together. And the guy flies down the road, and he goes and test fires it to make sure it worked. And we pack it up, and we go to the local sheriff's department there, and they had a range day put together for us with a bunch of full autos and had a good time. And we surprised him with it, and he had no idea, you know. And the Honey Badgers it was his unit logo, which you can see on his arm. We had that engraved on it with his name and rank and his unit and everything. So it turned out pretty awesome.
Very, very personalized.
One of a kind. You know, we did I custom hand painted it. We did the battle worn look on it. So it was a pretty awesome rifle.
Tell me, Bryan, what's your background and like how did you get started in? It's as quick as you can.
Yeah, I'm a Marine. I did 8 years in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
Wishes for Warriors is here today. I lost my best friend. So he joined the Army. I joined the Marine Corps. He got hit immediately being in Iraq. Right when the war first kicked off, he got hit with an IED, got killed. From that point on, I always knew I wanted to give back. I wanted to help my boys back out. You know, I watched these guys come home, and they're suffering. They're sitting there doing nothing, rotting away. And one day I was on a pig hunt up in Northern California. I was like, well, I don't have a vet here. You know, I'm the kind of guy, I would much rather watch somebody shoot something for the first time or go hunting for the first time or just accomplish anything. I get more enjoyment out of that. And so we started throwing around the idea, got a logo, got the name going, and boom, here we are 2 years later.
That's pretty cool.
Cliff notes of that.
Yeah. You can get more details on Natural Born Hunter.
Yeah, no worries.
What's the, like, you know, a lot of people might have an idea like that, but making it happen, that's kind of.
It's been a lot of work. I had no idea. You know, I'm just a guy, and I wanted to help my boys out, and I put together an organization and had no clue what went into it.
Yeah.
And so that actually, what led Corey to actually being one of our board members now. When we helped him out, he was in the process of starting his own organization, and I kind of filled him in on it. And he was going through the heartaches of actually starting an organization, and he was like, man, I love what you guys have been through and what you guys put me through, and just the brotherhood of it, and he wanted to jump on board immediately, so it was just a no-brainer to bring him on.
So let's get into Corey.
Yep.
Tell me more about your experience, and you get there and you get this gun.
Well, I was completely surprised. Had no idea. I wanted a range day with some guys that has been behind some rifles, just to catch up on everything.
And where were you at, like, mentally and everything else? Like, tell folks, I mean, they don't really have any reference, like, right now. What is it that you were struggling with?
Well, honestly, man, from the moment that I came to at Walter Reed, I had unbelievable support. I had a room full of family, hallway full of help, organizations coming in and out,
you got
throughout
2 fake legs there.
Yeah. Well, they're real. I'll be honest with you, they're real. But you know, I did my 2 years recovery at Walter Reed, and throughout that whole process, I had the best support. That's you know, I was looking back and man, I've had all this support. I'm blessed. My community. I'm from the South. I mean, they opened it. My community built me a home, mortgage-free home.
So you had a lot of community rally around you.
Yeah, so it was never, I was never down and out about that. I was always,
upbeat.
And so I was like, while I was in inpatient care, both guys on
either side of you.
In different rooms, but only people that were checking on them were nurses, and had no family up there. So I was like, man. That kind of opened my eyes. Not everybody gets, not everyone's blessed like I am, and so that's what I want to do. I want to go give guys, give something that I got, just to lift them up. And talking with Bam, like, man, this is exactly what I want to do. Why do my own thing when we can put our heads together? And
who's Bam?
Brian. My bad. Yeah,
that's pretty cool, man.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, while I was at Walter Reed, I mean, the last 6 months of my recovery, we were just always on the phone talking this thing out. And go ahead.
And we backdoored him, so he had no idea about the rifle. So we got a hold of his wife through Instagram. Yeah. And I'm all messaging and texting her, like sneaking around behind this guy's back, like, I need logos, like I need his. So she got us all the information, and she's an amazing woman. I mean, she's been there through it all for this guy, and I mean, she was damn near a kid when he got hit. So, she's awesome. She got to come down that day as well and witness the.
I'm extremely, from top to bottom, extremely blessed, man.
Yeah. Great guy.
So who's this other joker down here?
Cam. Hey. So we get this guy, and I get his bio, and I'm reading it, and he's talking about, he's an EOD Army, and I'm like, awesome, man, And I'm reading his bio, and he's talking about how one of the dogs that was with them stepped on an IED, which blew him up. And I was like, holy crap. So, and he wanted to go out, and he wanted to go on a deer hunt. And he mentioned in there that, he loves the outdoors, he loves hunting and doing everything, but he wasn't extremely confident on a lot of it. So no better place. We got the F.E. Hill Ranch. John, he's a big supporter of ours and sponsor. So we took him out there, and him and another guy. And, I mean, we had an absolute awesome weekend. He ended up shooting 2 nice 8 points and a truck full of does and a bunch of pigs. And so, he's just an absolutely amazing guy. His personality's awesome. He's just upbeat and outgoing. So, I like to get those guys out. And, so he's a lot of help when it comes to the expos and events like this. So,
how did that, had you been hunting before this?
Yeah, I grew up in a small town in central Idaho, like 500 people. Everyone there hunted, but my family wasn't a hunt. My dad wasn't a hunter.
Yeah.
So I was never raised hunting, but I was around it a lot. And I was, I grew up, going around plinking my 22 and stuff like that. Always wanted to get into it, join the Army, and then I kind of got into it towards the end after my recovery. I got to go with a couple guys from my unit after they got back from their tour. And, we didn't get anything, but I was all excited to go. And then I got back here and then went a year and didn't get anything, shooting something's the easy part. It's everything else that goes with it. I'm like, hey, I need help with all this, like for one, carrying, cleaning, all this stuff. So I was like, and I found Wish for Warriors because they had taken a Navy SEAL out that I had actually known and worked with in Afghanistan, and he got hurt.
Through Jana.
Yeah, through Jana Waller and Skullbound. I saw that they'd taken him out and they'd filmed it, and I was like, holy crap, like I know that guy. I worked side by side with him in Afghanistan, and I was like, that's really cool what they're doing. So I was like, a few months later, I was sitting on the couch, threw my application in, and they got a hold of me and like, yeah, let's get you out and let's get you involved with this. And after that, it's just been awesome ever since.
2 questions.
Yes, sir.
How, there's people who are hearing this that are veterans.
Yep.
Have gone through a lot. They want to reach out. Your program isn't that big yet.
No.
It's growing, but it's not that big. How do you handle the ones you take and the ones you don't?
So we when we started Wishes and we put down the program, we established that it was going to be 50% combat wounded or higher for your VA, your disability rating. So which meaning you had to have served in combat and been wounded during the time of combat. So that could be post-traumatic stress. It could be obviously any physical injuries. So we set it up that way. There's a lot of organizations out there that help any disabled veteran. And it's great. We support those organizations. We actually send a lot of guys their way that don't meet our full requirements. But with me, I was watching my boys just sit there and rotting away that had to wait for quite a while on some things. So I wanted to make sure they got straight to the front of the line, So we get the applications, and what we try to do is that, let's say you don't meet our requirement to go out, you're not 50%, but you need to do something and you need help. We don't just say no. We'll find an organization, or we reach out and we give the resources to that veteran, like, sorry, we can't help you here, but here's 3 other organizations, or here's how, we don't pay bills, we don't build homes, we don't give cars away, and we'll have vets that approach us with that kind of stuff. Hey, I would like to do a family trip with my wife. We do it for one, we got to do it for all. It sucks. I hate saying no to any veteran for anything.
Right.
But instead of saying, hey, sorry, we don't help you, can't help you with your wife, here's organizations that can take your family on a trip or help you with a house or things like that. So we always try to at least point the guys in the right direction.
How does, for those that are listening, why would hunting help a veteran? Like why are we talking?
I'll let them answer that.
It's therapeutic. Like for me, like I grew up in a small town. Get me outdoors anywhere. I don't care what we do. You just get me outside. And then not to mention, like, you're hanging out with other guys hunting. They teach you. You're mentoring each other. It's a brotherhood kind of thing. You still get that camaraderie. Yeah. And hunting, most of us vets are all gun heads. We like to shoot stuff and fish and stuff like that. And, I like to provide for my family in that matter too. So getting the meat from it is just another bonus of it, and it's just something that you can take away and then take back home. And something I can teach my kids in the future too, and things I want to pass down. So
it's really interesting. Corey, what do you think about that?
Yeah, same thing. I like to eat, and got tired of shooting paper targets. So hooking up with these guys, it not only puts you in a deer stand and shoot whatever, and send you off your way. Now I have a rifle. And have all the tools to continue doing this.
A big thing that I want to touch on is that you got to think about it. A lot of times, not in these guys' cases, but there's a lot of veterans. The last time they fired a weapon, or last time they were dealing with weapons or firearms or anything, it was a negative experience. They either got hit or they got out of the military, and they don't want anything to do with firearms again because that was the last time they had to defend their lives or defend their best friend's life. And so they have a bad experience with firearms, and so a lot of people are like, oh, we don't want to help because you deal with firearms. But then they got to think about, put themselves in our shoes. So we're taking a negative experience that these guys, every veteran is suffering. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
And now we're going to implement a positive experience. Now, here's a bolt action. Here's a firearm. Now you're actually going out there. You're providing for your family. Now you're bonding with the guys. You're out there running around on ATVs and blowing up tannerite and shooting armadillos, whatever. And these guys are so now it's the last experience that some of these guys had was a very negative experience with firearms, and
totally
and we're changing it around. So now
mentally.
we're putting exactly.
And to hit on the therapy part, the first question any organization is going to ask before they take you on a hunt or anything outdoors is what's your limitations. That's what I'm trying to find out. Well, that's the Utah.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's what I'm finding out. Yeah.
So try to explain to me the state some of these guys are in. Like, there's this suicide rate for veterans that's out of control.
Yep.
We lose more to suicide than we do in combat. What is that
about? The average of 22 a day.
That's crazy.
The VA says average of 22 a day. It can fluctuate higher or lower.
Why?
That's a tough question. That's a tough question.
That's $1 million question right there.
If we knew why, we wouldn't have 22 a day. Yeah. So, but the state that these guys are in, it can vary. It can be from a guy that's extremely positive, but I mean, if you look at Cam or Corey, they have physical injuries, but they're great mentally. Yeah. But they want to start a passion. Then you have the guys that look perfectly fine. They could be sitting in this chair looking like me, but they're fighting demons in their head every single day of the things that they have to deal with, they're seeing, and they don't know how to handle it. And then after years of that, and then obviously with the medication some of these guys are on and alcohol, and it's just a downward spiral.
Yeah.
So with us, we're showing these guys, like, hey, man, like, we're here. Like, let's go sit at a bonfire and shoot the shit all night. Let's talk about whatever. You don't want to talk about war? We'll talk about girls or a gun or whatever. Whatever's getting their mind off of it and just getting them away for a weekend, and we're kind of like restarting them. Like, they can go home and be like, man, like, I had a smile on my face for a weekend. It's doable.
Yeah,
and then it just –
well, I did my time at Walter Reed, without a doubt. the worst injury is the one you can't pick up on.
Absolutely.
You can see this. It's the one that you can't. I mean, how do you treat that? With me, slap some prosthetics on me, I'm fine.
Dude, I'm perfectly healthy. And a little over about a year ago, my wife was diagnosed with cancer. And now I told this to Jana on an earlier podcast. I've talked about this before. When I found out my wife had cancer, and then we were trying to figure out how bad it was, and she had this big lump on her neck, and they removed this tissue that was like the size of my fist. Yeah. I'm freaking out. They're like, yeah, you're going to lose all your hair. You have this kind of percentage chance of surviving, and it's going to be hell for 6 months of chemo. And I go off in the mountains. Some people are like, how could you leave your wife? She's like, leave, go hunting, get out of the house. She's I've had one chemo. I don't need you here. Go. So I go off. It was the first time in my life that I was ever like struggling with like any kind of like depression. Yeah. And that's what it really was. I was a little scared. There was this depression that I was and I had never been there before. And I went through this dark moment, for a week or two where I was like, I don't know. I was disappointed in myself that I felt that way.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? I got so many great things to live for, and yet I'm like, what's the point?
That's all you're focused on. That was all you were focused on.
I couldn't shake it. And then when I was up there in those hills and hanging out with friends, so my buddy, my college roommate, he drove all the way down here from Utah, and we hit the mountains together. I hung out with my friend Mark Brownlee, Gritty Scotsman. We hung out. We had good times. We were laughing and joking. It took my mind off of this other stuff. You got to get around
a good crowd and take your mind off.
And then there were just times where I was out in the wilderness that just it blew my mind just being there, getting into elk. It like when you're in the moment and you're right there on those animals, everything else goes away. It's like this disconnect. Like the stress was gone. Yeah. And so until that moment, I don't know that I really put it together because could never really empathize with someone that was in a state of depression. I was like, dude, sack up, get tough. This is, just get around it. Don't be such a wuss. And so here I am perfectly fine. I get a little bit of bad news, and it's like it was hard. And so I can see how this organization can, right now it can only reach out to so many people.
Yeah.
But as it grows, and even though it's not reaching out to mass numbers, it's making a huge difference for that one or two.
And that's all that matters to me. You
save a life.
And that's huge. If I save one life in 1 year and I only help one vet out, that's enough. I'll be happy with it. Obviously, I want to save as many as possible, and these guys are now helping out. But that's why we focus on the one-on-ones. These guys are getting the attention they need. They're getting the help and the therapy. And, we're not counselors, but we've all earned that T-shirt. In the military, you get a T-shirt for going through cold weather training and so you see a guy with a shirt, be like, "Oh man, I've been there." That sucked. But so we say, we all got that T-shirt going overseas, and so they can relate. And so when we don't do the big mass groups of guys, because if a guy needs help, he's going to single himself out, and he's not going to step forward if he hasn't done it already. And so we focus on those guys, and we've had guys that got back from Afghan, they hadn't left their house in 4 years. And I took them on a turkey hunt, and we sat in a turkey blind sweating our butts off down in Florida, the most miserable hunt, pouring sweat. And we bonded the whole entire weekend, and now he's one of our boys. And he's
so powerful. What happens when you see that?
It's and a lot of people are like, "Man, you changed so many lives." These guys don't realize they're changing my life too. They help me just as much as I help them, and it's a scratching each other's back. They might not think it. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you're just the president or founder of an organization," but it's not. They don't realize I get just as much out of it. And these guys, they text me at the end of a trip, "Dude, time of my life. I have no idea how to thank you." And that's my paycheck. That's what I love. That's what I love, and it keeps me going to do this kind of stuff. So,
one thing you said on the Natural Born Hunter podcast that I just sort of clicked for the first time. You were talking about how these guys are over there serving with these boys, and it's like this brotherhood. Mm-hmm. And you go out and you're together as a unit for years, and every day, all day, you're like you're like family.
Like
I mean,
you're living together.
You're living together. They know everything there is to know about you. It just happens, right, through the course of risking lives together.
Absolutely.
You build trust. You go through, that guy's got your back, you got his.
Yep.
And that bond, it never occurred to me until you mentioned it. You come back from that, and
then it's gone.
It's gone. Like, it's –
You go to look over your boy, and you wake up in the morning, and you got to think about it. I slept in a vehicle for like 9 months, and there's 4 of us in the back of a vehicle. So every day I'd wake up, I was staring at my buddy in the face, and then you get back, and you almost like – you're glad he's not in your face anymore, but it's like, you're like, where is he? It's like, where's the snoring? Like, where's your boy?
There's
like,
no gradual shift. It's just boom, gone. And
gone.
It hadn't crossed my mind.
And that's one thing that was big for me was when I got out. I drove straight from Washington at Fort Lewis to Idaho the day I got out. Got there, and then that brotherhood was gone because they were all still up there, and I was just sitting on the couch, no one to go hunting. I was going up to the lake and just fishing by myself, which it's still good. I was still getting out, but at the same time, you just don't have that group to be around. And so it's just good to, I'll talk to all these guys still all the time. It's just awesome to get that part back.
That affected me, especially the first 6 months of my recovery, because I got hit in my 8th month. My guys were still over there, and it really frustrated my parents, whoever was in the room with me. I just wanted them to be back home, but at the same time I wanted to be with them, and I knew I couldn't, and that really frustrated me, and my mind was still over there. Your job's not to bring you home, it's to bring him home.
Yep.
And that's what it's about.
So tell me, Bryan, like in this time, what's been one of the most inspiring moments for you?
We had a guy, he went through a real rough time and got home from Afghan, told his wife, I'll see you when I see you, and went and lived a life, drugs, alcohol, women, whatever. And he got to a point where he hit rock bottom, put a pistol in his mouth, pulled the trigger, and it didn't fire. First time in his life, he hit a gun, misfire. Sat down on his bed, got on Facebook, saw our ad, clicked on it, said I'm hunting 3 days later.
Can't make that up.
That's just crazy, dude.
Yeah, so he's a great dude. He's super, super involved with us. He's actually one of my best friends now, so I get kind of teared up just thinking about it, so he's a great dude.
What about you, Corey?
Man, I would guess just going to these expos and seeing going out and trying to find support for Wishes and and guys that men and women that help our organization. They're just going off a story. They're going off emotion, and they're willing to help someone that they've never met.
Yeah.
They don't know. That's really eye-opening for me, because that's why I have a home for my family. There's still a lot of great people out that are willing to help our men and women, and I'm very appreciative.
That's neat. I noticed you guys both come at it from different perspectives.
Yeah.
What's kind of as your examples of what has been an impactful experience for you.
Yeah.
Cam, what's your
I'd probably kind of piggyback off of Corey a little bit, as the fact that the hunting community itself is just so generous, especially to the veterans, and it's awesome to see the support that we gain, and knowing it's awesome when you get these people come up and talking to us, and they're so genuine and awesome to us, and not only knowing that they're that for us, but for the other guys out there that need help. It's cool, we have the support backing us. Let's get these guys in and let's get this rolling. Let's get everyone in the right mindset. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm excited about.
Where do you see this going? Where would you want this to be? If you could get the help you wanted and stuff, what do you want?
My main goal with Wishes is I want a ranch. I want a ranch in the mountains. Montana, Wyoming is our goal. We're actually, once February is over and the expos start dying down a little bit, we're going to shoot a big campaign video with these guys. And I want a ranch so these guys can call and be like, man, I'm struggling. I'm on the edge. My wife, girlfriend, whatever. And we can get them out there, and it's just a pure getaway where we got a pond. They can go kayaking in it, maybe some streams. is my ultimate goal.
Fish a
I
little.
want an awesome lodge with a giant round table, so we sit down and have dinner. Everybody's
When you
staring
say
at each
ranch,
other.
you're not talking about cattle. You're talking
No,
about
I want
a big game.
I want a big game ranch. I would love like 15, 20,000. I'd look as big as possible, to be honest with you. We have ATVs on it, so these guys can just get away and they have a home to come to when they're struggling.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of these guys.
Community, like when you walk in to a lodge, it's like this is
home.
This is home,
and it's going to be all veteran ran, veteran operated. So anytime, and I think that's a huge problem for these guys is they get in a slump and they have nowhere to go. Where do you go? I mean, you fight with your chick and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go for a drive. Well, then you get to come home to your house, but it's like it's still there. I mean, if you're struggling, these guys have nowhere to go. All they do is be like, man, I need to come.
Yeah.
Here's your itinerary. Like, we'll see you in the morning. We'll pick you up. So that's my ultimate goal of the wishes, and we're going to start kicking that off here. That it's going to be our big goal this year is to get a campaign and try and raise the money for, at least to get it going. And
that's pretty neat. As it grows like that, I can see as well. I just firmly believe that being in the outdoors, hunting, taking responsibility for the meat that you eat.
Absolutely.
Killing an animal, from field to table, dressing it out,
Absolutely.
all that stuff. There's a sense of fulfillment
Absolutely.
and wellness that comes from it. And I hope that for those, it goes beyond like those veterans that you're not able to help. They have to be inspired by the ones that you are able to help, and then see that, and then go, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going with wishes, but I can find a buddy.
And
I
hunting,
can connect through hunting.
And hunting
You're
might not be
welcome
everything.
in hunting.
They might not be everything for everybody.
True.
I've offered guys, hey, man, if you want to go on a hunt, I got hunts. We can go right now. And they're like, you know what, guns aren't my thing. But maybe they can see what these guys are doing and see the smiles on their faces and be like, you know what, maybe there is an organization that's right for me out there. And they can reach out to it. I mean, they might want to go sail around
Racing.
racing, Baja racing, anything, whatever. There's a charity for everything now. There's so many charities out there that's why it's so frustrating when you hear these numbers. It's like there's a charity literally for everything. And if there's not, a charity will fund it for you. And it's like just reach out. If they just did it and got the help. I mean, that's what's so frustrating about it.
Is there something you see like, I mean, is it just part of the programming or part of what makes you a warrior that you don't ask for help? I mean, why?
Yeah, it's exactly.
Yeah.
You're brought up in the military. I mean, I'm speaking on the Marines' behalf, but it's shut up and go. Suck it up, move on. Pick your pack up, put it on, let's go. So when you get back,
that's your training, that's your life,
that's your life, that's
mentality.
you. I mean, it's the same thing. These guys are trained to defend their country. The last thing these guys want to do is hold their hand out, and that's what pisses me off. Is I'll see these guys struggle. I'm like, bro, let's go. And they're like, I'm good. I'm like, look, man, just shut up and let's go. Like, I'm not here for a pity party. I'm not going to sit here and wipe your butt on a trip. And that's what I'm a tough love kind of guy. Like, bro, I'm giving you an opportunity. Shut up, pack your bags, let's go. Get on the plane. We're going to make it happen. If you go out on the weekend, you hate me at the end of the weekend, whatever. But at least you got brothers that are there for you.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. These guys just don't put hey man, I need help. And when a guy comes to you and they need help, I mean you're on it. You got to be on it because he's gotten to that point. So, but it just frustrates the crap out of me. These guys
you just don't see it. Guys just aren't. They just don't say, I need help.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have some friends that I work with their wives, and
we've had wives submit their husbands for us.
That's cool because they're like, yeah, my husband hasn't been the same for 5 years.
There looking out for him. Yeah.
They're like, she's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
He just hangs out at home.
And that's another thing. If there's wives out there listening, or we have a way that you could submit through.
And how do they do that? How do people?
They go right on our
out?
line and they can submit. To fill out an application, and they would just put in there. Hey, my husband. We were working with two wives right now. Their husbands super struggling, and we're like, hey, we're getting everything ready to go, and it's gonna. I tell them if I have to fly to their house and get them, I'll do it. Or if I got a vet in that area, I'm going to be like, Corey, I need you to go down to wherever in Alabama and grab this guy and take him out. I mean, we're building that support system.
And it
where
could
we can
be just bad experience with organizations in the past.
Which there's a lot.
And I've had that.
Yeah.
How
do they handle it? You show up at their door and you're like, hey, dude, we're going blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, sooner or later, I mean, you can only cut everybody off for so long. So long.
Yeah, yeah.
And we've been around 1,000 organizations, and I mean, that's why I'm on board with this one.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the only one that I've been around that's been just genuine and just gets to the point. Like they make you want to go. You know, like
they get it.
And there's like they get you excited about it. You know, and you're just like.
Well, we do have some pretty awesome trips. So
yeah.
it's not hard to get.
Makes it easy.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's not hard.
It makes it easy.
But if there were someone, you know, you'll get them excited for it.
Well, awesome, guys. I'm glad you guys came on.
Thank you for having us.
I'm excited to see where you grow, you know.
Appreciate it.
And talk more. I'd love to have you on more and talk when you got things coming up. You know, give us a jingle. And
well, we got a lot coming up in 2016. I mean, it's going to be a big year for us. You know, we're hitting our 2-year at SHOT Show. I mean, we've grown so much already, so we're ready for it. You know, we're kind of nervous. We're going to make some changes, big growing changes, you know. I mean, we're hitting our 4-year mark already at our 2-year goal, or our 2-year mark. So
that's awesome.
Get better every day, get better every year.
How can people, you know, like just anyone who wants to support the organization, how can they –
they can find us.
You got like companies that are reaching out to help.
Absolutely.
But what about individuals?
Individuals,
especially some rich guy, like, you know.
You can actually, so this is the best one, is text to donate. You text W, number 4W to 71777.
Wait, I'm slow, dude. I don't get it. Do what now?
You text, like you're going to send your buddy a text.
Send him a text, right?
You type in 71777, and then you put in the text part, W, the number 4W, and you just push send, and you receive a text right back. And it has all the donation.
4 wishes, like the number numeral 4.
The number 4 W. So W4W. And you send it. And then if not, I mean, you can go right to our website. It's www.
So it's like wishes for warriors.
Yep.
The W for wishes.
Number 4
for 4. W.
Okay.
I'm slow, dude.
No, I get it. I get it. I've
So,
had to say it a million times. That's the only reason I remember it.
Okay. W4W. And then
71777, and you'll get a text right back.
777.
For the guys like us and knuckle draggers, you can just go right online. It's it's wishes4warriors.com. Just simple, just wishesforwarriors.com. We have .org. Just type in Wishes for Warriors and we'll come up. You know, you can go on YouTube.
You can't get too crazy with us.
We gotta
keep it simple.
You gotta keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
So they can just Google too, and they'll pop up and they'll find their way.
Yep, or go on YouTube. And that'll link back to our page. I mean, we got videos up there. These guys, Corey running around. We don't have Cam's video up yet, but sorry, I've been on trips helping these guys out.
So I mean, if you got $5, if you got $5,000,
anything helps, and that's a lot of people. They're like, man. And it doesn't even have to be money. It could be guys, hey, I got a connection to a ranch that wants to help guys go on a deer hunt. They have no idea. Just a guy opening his ranch up, that could save us $2,000 to $3,000 on a trip, which that's $2,000 to $3,000 we could put into the next trip.
Dude, if 30,000 people listen to this and they each gave $1, that's 30 grand
right there.
I mean, just
a dollar.
That's a bunch of hunts right there.
That's a bunch of hunts.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Not even hunts. I mean, that's a lot of stuff for vets. You know, people don't realize that.
It's hard to go wrong. It's like just take the time,
travel,
donate a little money.
All the all that comes into play.
But every cent goes so far with us because we're not paying the salaries. We're not spending it on just stupid things.
That's one thing that was cool. Like you guys aren't putting a lot of that money into your own pocket.
We're putting no money into anybody's pockets. We're 100%, and when we made 100%, every single cent we raise goes right back to the organization, and that's to the trips, to sending these guys to expos or anything. So that's why us as this little small mom and pop organization, we're able to do so much. And people are like, man, you guys have been around years.
You can check out the other organizations. It's like,
feel free.
10% goes to the vets and 90% goes to the running the organization. That's messed up.
It's ridiculous.
30% into marketing.
Commercials. Yeah, it was like a ALS challenge. Everybody's dumping ice. I'm sure everybody here did it at least once. You go on, there's like 15% went to research. I'm like, that's why everybody is dumping water on their head is for research. If 50% went to marketing, I was like, you know, if people if there's one thing I tell people, Google search the charity you want to support. Don't just do it because a celebrity's talking about it. Don't just do it because you see some vet that's been to war and he's been hit.
For you.
I don't care if it's a pit bull in a cage.
Google
do
your research.
Google it because people. I mean, people are like, "Oh man, I want to back. How do I support you?" And I go look us up.
Yeah.
Look what I want you to support us because you like what we're doing. I don't want you to support us because I have a vet here that's missing limbs and he's sitting there in a track chair driving around and can't even, help himself out. Like, no, these organizations will find that guy as their poster boy, and then they use that to exploit it, and it works for them. I don't want that. I want somebody to be like, you know what, I support you because I see smiles on veterans' faces. I see where these guys are going. I see where the money's going. That's what I want Wishes to be separated from the rest. And I tell people, go Google it. Just Google, search. Everybody's got the internet at their fingertips with their phones. Just look it up. There's websites. There's websites that actually break down the charities' funds.
Anytime somebody's like, did you read that fitness study? I can't eat red meat anymore. And I'm like, dude, do a little Google research this.
Your own research.
I'm going paleo.
Yeah,
you have to.
I'm like, I'm reading this. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you can eat meat.
Yeah.
I mean,
meat's fine.
Whatever it might be.
They've been doing it for a little bit.
Just,
right. Since like mankind.
Yeah,
I think you're good.
Just Google you could go a long way doing a little research, fact checking before you go.
It was on Facebook. It's real.
Yeah. But you should trust the Gritty Bowman explicitly.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Just go on it. Well, guys, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us, man.
I appreciate it.
Okay, Gritty friends, I hope you enjoyed that podcast. If you did, please take a moment to leave us a review on iTunes, Podbean, or Stitcher. We love reading your reviews. And connect with us on social media if you're on there. Look us up on Facebook and Instagram, and take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can receive notifications when we upload new videos. We've got a sweet deal with Mountain Ops. You get 20% off on all Mountain Ops supplements, combo packs, and apparel when you type in the word gritty at checkout. If you're a hardcore elk hunter, or you want to be, go to the Elk 101 website online and check them out. Our friend Corey Jacobson is killing it with some of the best elk hunting information and entertainment on the web. If you haven't heard, we're doing a huge gear giveaway to try and grow and expand the Gritty community on Facebook and Instagram. I asked a bunch of friends to pitch in on this gear giveaway, and they all came through with some awesome stuff. Our friends at Kafaru, Rockslide, First Light, Phelps Game Calls, One Shot Gear, Mountain Ops, Triple X Archery, Blacktail Outdoors, and Is It September Yet are pitching in some sweet gear for the giveaway. We'll announce all the details in the next few weeks. All you have to do to be entered to win is like our Gritty Bowman Facebook page and follow us on Instagram. Alright friends, let me leave you with one other quote from Theodore Roosevelt, who said, "It behooves every man to remember that the work of the critic is of altogether secondary importance, and that, in the end, progress is accomplished by the man who does things." We all have a choice. We can be people who do things, or people who criticize the work of others. It's pretty simple, really. Get out there and do your thing. Good luck on your hunts, and stay gritty.
This is Ty Stubblefield, and you're listening to the Gritty Bowman.
Gritty Bowman.